Okay, and let's see. I also added in a shaker loop, and I just dragged and dropped the loop from here into my playlist. And I right clicked the time, and let me make sure this is the shaker loop here. Yeah, and I right clicked the time and I selected 4 bars so that it would perfectly fit in with my song at the same tempo that I'm at, which is 128. Okay, and this is what the shaker loop sounds like. It's just a random loop that I found and I picked it up. I also turned the volume of the shaker loop way down so that it would just be barely audible. Okay, I guess that's about it for the kick and the bass. Well, I guess I should explain the EQ on the bass. The EQ on the bass was I loaded a fruity parametric equalizer, which can be done like so. Fruity parametric EQ is right there, and the 7 by default is set to a shelf type mode, and it was normally up here, and I just dragged it down here to lower the high frequency that the bass was emitting, because here I'll turn the high back up so you can hear what unpleasant sound it is. Nobody wants that, right? So do this, please. See, you want the bass to still have a little bit of this high frequency tone, but not a whole lot of it. Just enough to kind of make the bass a little bit more of an audible instrument. And you might even want to layer another bass on top of your main bass, which is very low at this point, 55 hertz. The A key that we're playing this bass on is 55 hertz. So you may even want to have another bass layered on top of it that is 1 octave higher. But I would suggest you turn the volume down on that one quite a lot, or else it's going to sound very, very bad, and it's going to totally mess up your main mix. Okay, and the last thing to explain is the little chord stabs you've been hearing. It's the song's in A minor, so here's my A minor stab pattern. I did it with a 3x oscillator. I loaded it up. I selected a triangle, a square, and a sawtooth wave. And of course, I set their pitches back to normal. And yeah, I basically left their I set their volumes equal, and I assigned them an effects channel here that's linked to the send reverb. I believe I mentioned the send reverb and the purpose of it earlier. If not, I'm sorry. I'll get into that in another video. Anyways, I came into the miscellaneous tab and I turned the cutoff frequency of our 3x oscillator to almost all the way down. And then I went to the sample tab or not the sample tab, I went to the insert tab and I went to the cut button, which means that this envelope here is going to be controlled by the cutoff, which that's something I did on the bass earlier that I failed to mention, is instead of having, right here I have a cutoff, a decay. See how it just slopes down like that? That's what makes the sound kind of fade off as it plays. Listen, yeah, and it's also linked to the reverb as I mentioned before. And I turned once I had this set the way I wanted, I turned the amount all the way up almost, and it gave me this nice little effect here. It's used very commonly on a lot of synths, and yeah, that's about it on that. Simple A minor chord. And as you see down here, we transition to E, which is the 7th of A. And if you know anything about theory, it's the 5th of A, but a fifth is 7 keys up or down. That's a fifth. So, wait a minute. No, it's 7 keys up or 5 keys down is a fifth. So, yeah, like I said, we're not gonna get into all that shit right here, but there's plenty of resources on Google and stuff if you want to learn about music theory and how notes and things relate to each other. And so let's see. And the way I made the pattern for the E minor stab was I just copied the A minor. I went into the piano roll. I selected the selection tool, or you can press the E button to reach the selection tool. I highlighted it. I pressed the P button, which is the hotkey for the pencil tool. Wait a minute, no, I didn't do all that shit. I just copied it with Control C, and then pasted it into the piano roll here. I fucked this shit all up. Damn. Anyways, I just copy and pasted it and went into the piano roll on this, and what used to look like this, it was my it used to be my A minor key. I just dragged down to the E, so now they're E minor chords instead of A minor. Is there anything else I'm missing before I get off of this thing? Oh, yeah. I hooked the, I didn't like the way our hi-hat was originally sounding, the closed hi-hat, which I made an effects channel for also. So I high-passed it with the Fruity Free filter, and I hooked the frequency to my MIDI controller so that I could control that as the song plays. And yeah, I'll show you what the hi-hat sounded like before. Now here's what it sounded like after I high-passed it. Okay guys, so let's hear it one time through, and I'm going to play with it a little bit as it plays through, and yeah, let's get off this thing. Alright guys, here we go. I'm going to jam with it here a little bit for a while. I meant to do that originally, but damn Fruity Loops just kept going after the end of the song, and I set that return thing, but whatever. So let's jam with it a little bit.